Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Artrageous with Nate. We have so much we're going to do in this episode, we've got to get started. Let's take a look. The first thing we're going to do is talk about the world famous artist Dale Chihuly. Chihuly has made some of the most colorful and certainly some of the largest sculptures in the entire world. You're going to love his work. The next thing we're going to do is talk about the history of glass. And we're also going to talk about who was the first person to blow air into glass. The next thing, we're going to go to the Toledo Museum of Art in Toledo, Ohio. They have an entire building made completely of glass. To top it off, we're going to get a chance to blow glass ourselves. It's going to be amazing. Next thing we're going to do is go to the Indianapolis Children's Museum in Indianapolis, Indiana. They happen to have one of the largest Chihuly sculptures in the entire world. I can't wait to see it. Lastly, we're going to get inspired. We're going to make a Chihuly-inspired sculpture ourselves, and we're going to need a ton of help. All right, are you guys ready to get started? I thought so. Let's get started. Have you ever wondered where glass comes from? Or better yet, have you ever wondered how glass gets changed into shapes like, a glass you drink out of, or a plate, or a window? I bet so. Better yet, what amazes me is when glass is being used to make art. In fact, we're here at the Indiana University Health Building to see a huge sculpture made by our artist, Dale Chihuly. Let's go take a look. Take a look at this. This structure behind me, this huge sculpture, is called the DNA Tower. Now, what's DNA? Great question. DNA, simply put, are the building blocks of life. It's what's inside of you that makes you, you. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? This sculpture was made for the 100th anniversary of the discovery of DNA, which, in fact, was made by two people who went to this very school. Now I want to take a close look at all of these different globes. In fact, there are over 1,200 globes used in this sculpture. Now if you zoom in, you really get to see all of these intricate details on the globes. All the different colors Chihuly used, all the different sizes he made. It's really, really incredible. He has a lot of talent. Would you like to know a little bit more about the artist Dale Chihuly? I thought so. Why don't you take a look at this?
Meet Dale Chihuly, a master of glass. Dale Chihuly was born in 1941 in Tacoma, Washington, a beautiful city known for its amazing view of Mount Rainier and some excellent hiking. After graduating high school, Chihuly attended the College of Puget Sound. After writing a paper on Van Gogh, "Hello, it is me, Van Gogh," he decided to transfer to the University of Washington in Seattle, where he eventually earned a degree in interior design. After a trip to Israel, Chihuly returned back to school in the United States super inspired. He started including pieces of glass in woven tapestries. He even earned an award for his amazing designs. Needing some money for graduate school, Chihuly became a fisherman in Alaska. After this, Chihuly attended graduate school at the University of Wisconsin and studied glass blowing in the first glass program in the United States. It was also here that Chihuly was able to learn a lot from his amazing teacher, Harvey Littleton.
Yep, that is me.
After receiving a master's degree in ceramics from the Rhode Island School of Design, Chihuly traveled to Italy to study. Chihuly became the first American glassblower to work in the prestigious Venini factory on the island of Murano. This is where Chihuly learned the team approach to glassblowing, which is critical to the way he works today. After this incredible experience, Chihuly traveled back to the States and started teaching at the Rhode Island School of Design. There, Chihuly began to inspire a whole new generation of glassblowing artists. How awesome is that? One thing I love about Chihuly is that he is always looking for a new art experience.
Don't bend them. Don't bend them any more than that.
How's that?
That's okay, but go from there to straight.
Which is probably why he and a bunch of his friends started an art school on a tree farm. It is called Pilchuck Glass School. At Pilchuck, Chihuly began to create sculptures out in nature. How cool is that? One thing Chihuly loved about glass was the way light would pass through it. You know, since glass is transparent and all. Fast forward a few years to 1976 in London, England. While riding in a car, Chihuly was involved in a terrible wreck. Fortunately, he recovered from the accident, but he did hurt his eye, which is why he wears an eye patch even today. After the accident, Chihuly became inspired again, this time by Northwest Coast Indian baskets, which led him to make these inspired artworks. Fast forward once again to 1979. While out body surfing, Chihuly fell, dislocating his shoulder. Ouch! Soon after, he realized he could not hold the heavy glass-blowing pipe any longer. But like any determined artist, Chihuly decided to work through the problem instead of just giving up. So, he hired some friends to help him out. As Chihuly learned in school and in Murano, it is better to work with a team. Now, Chihuly gets to do what he does best, design really cool sculptures.
Yeah, it is pretty nice.
Throughout the past 40 years, Chihuly's amazing artwork has been seen across the world. Chihuly has left his mark as one of the most inspiring and innovative glass artists in the world. Today, he continues his legacy as an artist and teacher. He even supports a glass arts program in Tacoma, Washington, Hilltop Artists, which provides art classes for more than 500 students each year. How awesome is that?
In order for an artist like Dale Chihuly to make a piece of glass like this, we would first need some glass, right? Do you know where glass comes from? Nope. Let me show you something really interesting.
Glass actually begins here at the beach. Believe it or not, sand is the primary ingredient to make glass. Glass is certainly not a new idea. In fact, glass has been around for thousands of years. Don't believe me? Take a look at this. Take a look at this vase behind me. I want you guys to guess how old you think it really is. I'll give you a few seconds to think about it.
50 years? Or maybe 500?
You're not even close. You won't believe this. This vase is actually 1,400 years old. It was made by the ancient Egyptians. Can you believe it? Believe it or not, there is even some glass that dates back to 3,500 years ago. Glass that old. That's around the same time that things like the sailboat was being invented, or even handwriting. Believe it or not, the study of stars, astronomy, it was just beginning. Anyway, the ancient Egyptians were some of the first people to use glass, and they used a pretty simple recipe. In fact, I've got all the ingredients here in the art room. The first ingredient is silica, which is actually another term for sand. The second ingredient is sodium carbonate. This actually may look pretty familiar to you because it's the same salt you would use in your water softener at home. The ancient Egyptians, they would extract this sodium carbonate from the ashes of plants. Pretty cool. The last ingredient is lime, which is actually just pulverized limestone. You mix all of these together, and of course we need a 2,000-degree oven, and we have melted glass. Pretty awesome, isn't it? Let's fast forward hundreds of years, in fact to the year 50 BC in ancient Rome. It was here that they made a huge discovery in glass. What they did is they started blowing air into the hot liquid glass. This changed everything. No longer did you have to be filthy rich to own something made out of glass. It sped the process up, it became more efficient, and they used a whole lot less material.
Yo, I'm here for that glass.
Whatever, dude. Glass is for everybody. Nice hat.
Man, whatever.